Good day everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we have a spicy video. Why? Because first, it's the 30th video that I'm publishing for YouTube, and second, we're doing a year-end wrap-up of all the knives and tools I've acquired over the past 365 days. It's going to be a really cool episode. I can't wait to talk about some of the knives I've purchased, some that were given as prototypes and reviews. Of course, you've seen them all, but just to remind you about all the episodes, all the content that I've created for the channel, I made a cool little reel that's just a little bit over 2 minutes, so we're going to watch that first, and then we're going to come back here. But first, if you're new to the channel, remember to subscribe and smash that like button. See you soon. 240 millimeters of absolute beauty. And in doing that in one easy swoop, there's your drumstick. Great job at not sticking. There you go. There's my diced pancetta for eggs Sunday morning. It's 1.89 millimeters at the heel. With coffee things. This ain't no joke. I'm doing this right here on camera. Yeah. Studio mic check. Mic check. Also the head check. What about this one?
That one is a beautiful knife.
This one is a beautiful knife. She's not wrong. Now, before we can properly understand Konosuke, the brand, and Fujiyama line, we actually need to talk a little bit about Mount Fuji. You saw what the Damascus looked like at the beginning of the video. It's so subtle. That is some gorgeous, gorgeous Damascus. And the winner of this knife giveaway is Urosh. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce the family name, but it's right here. Performance is phenomenal. The tip is more accentuated than I would have liked. I wouldn't have minded just the typical rounded Sujihiki tip. Now the blacksmith, of course, is Terukazu Takamura. He's third generation blacksmith working for Takamura Hamono. Ooh! Zach asked me, I hope you like how I sharpened it for you, buddy. I know the paper test doesn't really mean a whole lot about the knife's performance in practice, but I'm pretty sure anyone watching out there will agree. That's a nice edge. I hope you enjoyed that reel. Now, if we're here, if I'm creating content, it's because I'm purchasing things. I'm being given things so that I can create content for you. Yes, the collection has gotten quite large over the past year, but at the same time, I have so many people to thank. The community, the knife makers, the blacksmiths, the sharpeners, so many people. And so let's get started with a knife that technically doesn't fit in the 2021 category because it was given to me right at the end of 2020. And I mean, I believe I received it December 29th, 2020. However, I still want to talk about it because this is the first collaboration knife that I had a chance to work on. This is with my buddy Urosh, or as you know him, the tattooed chef. We worked on this knife idea, this knife prototype for about a year, just talking about concepts, talking about style, materials for the handle. And so the first knife I want to talk about is this one right here. This is a 240 millimeter ko-kiritsuke made from 1.2519 steel. The handle is olive wood. We have a bolster that's walnut, G10 spacer, and copper. Beautiful matching walnut saya as well. So that is one of the first knives that I want to talk about for our wrap-up. Then the second knife I got, which is actually in 2021, this was a prototype knife given to me by Casey from Lynn Valley Forge. It's, I believe, a 7-inch chef knife, differentially hardened 1080 steel with twisted W's Damascus pattern. Also has a hamon. Handle is, this is going to test my memory for all of these, Tasmanian blackwood with a vintage canvas micarta bolster and G10 spacers. Next, Casey also made me this beautiful saya for my Unryuman 120 millimeter petty, and this one is spalted maple burl with bog oak spacers and of course brass pins. Then we had the honor for the very first time of being part of the ambassador program for Fuku Knives, and I was sent this absolutely gorgeous 165 millimeter Santoku Eogami Super Steel. This is technically Becca's knife, and she absolutely loves it. She looks for any reason to pick it up. We haven't had to sharpen it since we received it. For the price, I can't say enough good things about this knife. So thank you so much for allowing me to be part of this ambassador program and to talk about this knife. Then next on the line, we're going back to Casey, but also Shibata-san. I completed my Tinker knife set with this saber tooth. Now I'll show you the blade, but you should know that the handle and saya was made by Casey from Lynn Valley Forge. This is going to be Indian ebony and koa bolster with G10 spacer, Indian ebony saya. Let's remove that pin and show you this beautiful 210mm saber teeth Iogami Super. And this, oh yeah, that still feels good. This is what completed my Tinker series. Gorgeous, right? I use this essentially for raw protein more than cooked for some reason. I just really like the style, the geometry. It fits really well when it goes to knife portioning tasks. An absolute beauty. Love the style, love the handle. I couldn't ask for a better last Tinker knife to get. Then still kind of on the topic of longer knives, we got another slicer, my first Sujihiki. I don't consider this a Sujihiki. I know some of you will disagree, but that's besides the point. So that was 210mm. Then we moved on to my first knife, my first Sujihiki, that is to say, 250mm from Yu Kurosaki-san. This is SRS 13 from his Fujin line, but of course the gorgeous turquoise rock handle, Western style. At some point, I'm pretty sure I'm doing these in somewhat of the order in which I received them, but at some point Shibata-san was like, "What do you think of this teapot?" I was like, "Shibata-san, you know I'm a punk rocker. You're telling me that if I see this sign on top of your rockin' teapot, you think I'm not gonna want it? Of course I want it. Send me that rockin' teapot." And so he sent me this absolutely gorgeous rockin' teapot from West Japan Tools. Absolutely love it. Very beautiful, delicate, great craftsmanship as usual. Been having lots of tea in this. While we're still on the topic of tools, I then purchased my first product from Nordquist Designs. I bought this beautiful leather strop, and as you can see, I also have a diamond compound paste. It's the first that I've ever had to use, and it's absolutely fantastic, very gritty, easy to take care of, and you can just leave it on the leather strap. And Jesse from Nordquist was kind enough to send me this gorgeous fish spatula made out of carbon steel. Next, I bought myself a beautiful birthday present, and I had my eye on this style of knife for almost 20 years. I'm not sure why I never bought it, but I finally decided to buy it, and that was this gorgeous 182mm Hakata from Shirogami 2 Steel, Nishiji finish, Makassar ebony handle with red marbled blonde buffalo bolster. This knife, as well as this ko-kiritsuke, same steel, same finish, are both from Kazuomi Yamamoto. The handle on this one is Shusugi-ban walnut. Of course, to accompany both these gorgeous knives, two nice simple magnolia sayas. Moving on, I partnered with Sharp Knife Shop, in which they sent me two knives for a giveaway. This was a mystery box unboxing. I opened the box, had no idea what was in it. All I knew is that I was going to get to keep one knife and the other was going to be a giveaway. As you already probably know, I decided to keep this amazing Seki Zuen 180mm bunka. This is R2 steel with a packer wood handle. Take a look at that Damascus. This is a factory-made knife, and it has been an absolute joy to use. I don't need to baby it like most of my other knives, and so I have used this knife quite a bit. And if you remember from my video, when I unboxed it, I'm absolutely bananas about this heptagonal handle. So I kept the bunka and the Goko Santoku, which they sent me. That one went to, actually, Urosh, the tattooed chef. He was the winner of the giveaway. Same guy who made this knife. Then moving on, I think I got what is probably one of my favorite knives of the year. It was a complete fluke. I spoke to a friend and he was getting rid of a knife, and I didn't really have the money at the time to spend to buy it, but I realized that there was an opportunity because I don't own a knife. I didn't own a knife from this blacksmith. It was a length that is not very common for the style that is not very common at that length. And so the knife I'm talking about is this absolutely gorgeous 65 layer R2 Damascus Takamura Uchigomo no Hana Gyoto. Right? Isn't she a beauty? Especially that handle. Look at that. That is curly Tasmanian blackwood. And the handle texture, the grains really change depending on the light. This of course came with a super simple saya, but I appreciate it. One less saya that I need to make. And then finally, on the table here, I was sent this knife from Tony and Zach at Tokushu Knife. And that is the last video that I have until this one that you're looking at. I got my very first Funayuki from Shindo-san, who comes from the Tosa region. This one is made out of blue steel, number 2, with of course a bit of a lacquered kurochi finish. Beautiful cladding line, a lot of great exposed steel. Love the handle as well. Paddock bolster and ebony handle. This one is ultra thin. It's been a joy to use. I've only had it for a few weeks, so I can't speak too much about it, but it is, as I say in the video, extremely light. Also missing on this table though, I do want to mention that Japana had sent me a beautiful 12-inch walnut bar with a brass kind of casing. I'll put a picture up here so you can see it. And my friend Lubo from the Facebook group Japanese Made Knives, Cutlery and Conversation had sent me, I'm sure you've probably seen the video for the Konosuke Fujiyama 210mm Gyoto. That was a fantastic video. I was really happy to put that together to introduce Konosuke to some people who haven't heard of them, specifically the Fujiyama line. And so that's essentially the wrap-up of everything that I've acquired over the past year. I feel very fortunate to have been able to work with some smiths on getting me some knives that I wanted, to be able to be part of some of these ambassador programs, to be sent some free tools for reviewing prototypes. It's been a phenomenal year in that regards. Of course, none of this is possible without your support, so I really want to thank the community. Without you guys writing comments, liking this, I'm just some crazy knife nerd talking to my camera, looking at his reflection, trying to make sure that everything is in focus, right? So thank you all. And on that note, let's remember to be a humble community, okay? It's not because we use Japanese kitchen knives or any other type of kitchen knives that we're better or superior to anyone else. Practice kindness. It's been a rough year for a lot of people. You never know what people are going through. So rather than start a message being negative and being mean for absolutely no reason, try to be constructive, give great feedback, and try to give more than you take. It's gonna feel amazing. So thank you guys. I think I spit a little bit. I'm not sure if we'll catch that in 4K. But thank you guys for being here. I have some great plans already for 2022. It sounds like the majority of you really want to see a knife photography workshop. So I'll try to think about the best way that I can make that happen. Probably a YouTube live sometime in the early-ish new year. I think I'm gonna aim for a weekend on a Saturday, maybe mid-afternoon, so that it's later afternoon for the East Coast people in Canada, but for those in Europe, it's the next morning. We'll figure it out. The point is, I appreciate all of you. We're roughly at 1K subscribers, so thank you in advance if somehow we reach that by the new year or shortly afterwards, before the next video. It's been a joy to educate all of you. It's been a joy to educate myself, okay? I don't know everything about everything. There's so many smiths that I've used their knives for the first time. There's so many steels that I have been inexperienced with until this year. There's so many artisans that I didn't know about until I reached out to them on Instagram, or they reached out to me. Sometimes they're in Slovenia, right? There's just so much to learn about in the world. Keep an open mind. Thanks again. Happy holidays, happy new year, and see you in 2022.